this episode, we're on our way to Lima, Ohio. We're going to the 4-Wheel Off-Road Jamboree Nationals presented by Family Events. It's always fun to come to Lima. We always get to see a lot of friends and a lot of family and a lot of fans that are out there. It's always cool in Lima because people bring out their new builds and the cool trucks. And we're going to announce the top 20 nominees for the Monster Truck Hall of Fame this year. And it should be a lot of fun. I got my son JJ riding shotgun, and we got Silly Willy in the back. We're bringing Silly Willy out. It hasn't been here in quite a few years, so it should be a lot of fun. Hey, we're here in Lima, Ohio, and we just run into Bob Butler. He's with the Vodders racing team. Bob, you've been around forever helping these guys. How many years has it been?
Going on 31 now.
31 years. And Bob's one of these guys that's been behind the scenes forever. Nobody really knows he's out here.
I like it that way.
Yeah, and he's one of our big supporters at the museum every year. He's got his own company, and he always sponsors us every year, and then he flies in to help Mike and the Vodders team, and he used to help me a lot too, because back in the days of the War Wagon running hard, I was running by myself most of the time, and if I blew a tranny or something, he was right there underneath the truck with me helping change it, and never really skipped a beat. So one of them unsung heroes.
One of the original groupies.
Yeah. Hey, we're here with Christian, the driver of Bigfoot. All new paint scheme this year. Looks pretty cool. What are you thinking?
I love it, man. It's got a kind of a, remember Wildfoot back in the day? It kind of has a couple features about that. You know?
Yeah.
So I love it. It's slick. Scott Upchurch at the shop painted this thing all nice. Dan Runte put all the decals on it. It looks slick, man. I like it.
All right, you ready to rock tonight?
I am, man. I am. So is everybody else, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, this will be good. There's a tough group of guys here at the Lima Jamboree, so this is going to be pretty cool.
Big time. Tough, but good group, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, we're here with Brandon with Bad News Travels Fast. What do you think? Are you excited about being here?
Totally excited, man. Our first time in Lima, first time as a part of the 4-Wheel Jamboree series, so we're ready to get out there and start rocking.
All right, yeah, we've this has got a lot of history here. Lima for you were probably a little kid when all this started.
I was,
but
yeah.
A lot of us have been here for a lot of years. I was here, man, way back in the early 90s, and actually spent some time in the nearby hospital from getting injured here. But that was another story we can get into some other time. But it's neat to see new faces, and of course, you're not real new. You've been around how many years now? You've
Going on 8.
8 years.
8 years,
okay.
yes, sir.
So, well, it's good to see you here.
Thank you so
Good
much,
luck
man.
tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, a little history on this place. I'll give a little bit of my history on this place. Of course, this used to be a Thunder Nationals event with Aaron Paulburn back in the early 90s, but in 93, Special Events took this over and created the Jamboree here that we're used to. And one of the funny things was in 93 was the first time anybody really seen any big jumps. George Carpenter out here on this track, it was the Pin to Points series, and it was side-by-side racing, and he took big dumpsters, flipped them over, and put dirt on them, and they were 10 foot tall and about 20-25 foot of angle or length to the ramp. And the trucks were getting huge air, but in the driver's meeting before anybody did any of the jumps, everybody was whining and worried about the air that everybody's going to get. So George called everybody a bunch of wimps and got in his rental car and went out and actually jumped the thing in his rental car and bent the car almost in half. It bent it so bad he couldn't shut and open his doors anymore. The rest of the week he had to climb in and out of the windows. So that was kind of a funny deal.
Entries are on here, and there's a bunch of big names on there. You want to go through the list and tell us who's up for being nominated into that Hall of Fame?
Yeah, sure can. It's pretty exciting. We got a nominating process where there's 20 guys that are on the nominating committee, and they do research and they try to find the guys that were the most innovative in the industry to actually deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. These trucks didn't just evolve overnight. There was a lot of years of development and creativity and experimenting to get them to where they can run into here at the Lima Jamboree. Mr. Wine, a lot of guys remember you.
Yep, I guess they remember me as the Jersey Outlaw, or the one that picked in that old fart that drove the Chevrolet, the Gravedigger truck. Ford versus Chevrolet forever.
With Hall of Famer Mike Voders and future Hall of Famer Tim Hall. We're getting ready for the run tonight. Tell us what you think.
I was just telling these guys I was going to take it easy on them.
Take it easy
I
on
won't beat them too bad. But
yeah, we appreciated that because I didn't want to be embarrassed.
Right. Hopefully it don't backfire and they get me, but I don't want to let them sit in there at the line.
Yeah. As long as you're not late at the line.
You know, me and him have raced in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2000 teens now. You realize that?
And you better not retire because it'll be in the 20s pretty soon.
I got one in there behind him with a wheelchair, lift and everything.
There you go. Oh well. Hey, we run into all kinds of cool people. This is Jeff Lucky. He helps us every year with the Hall of Fame. Even though he's not there, we're going to get him there one of these days. But a lot of the photos you guys see on our promotional stuff and everything is a Jeff Lucky photo, and usually it has his name down in the corner. So it's neat to see you here. You're doing some photo work here.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, I've been doing the Jamborees for about the last 8 years. Been doing all 3 of them. But like I said, you started back in 85, 86 trackside and stuff. Been doing monster trucks and tractor truck pulls and
he's over in the New York area, so he's kind of our go-to guy for everything out on the east.
Yes.
Did a lot of stuff for Deal Wilson and a lot of the early Thunder Nationals stuff that we did in Rochester, New York, and Buffalo area.
The Rich Stadium.
Yeah.
And that original show there, and I was up in Lafargeville when Gravedigger did his famous On the Side just about.
Okay.
That was a couple of different shows at. So.
All right. Well, it's pretty cool. You know, you always see a lot of people at the Jamborees. That's why we come to these. We just love them. So another little thing in '93 that happened was Kirk Dabney was running the Nightmare truck, and I was here pitting for him or crewing for him at the time. That was right at the time I was building the War Wagon. The Overkill trucks had just burned up a couple months earlier, and I was building War Wagon and had to have it ready for a July show, and this would have been in May. And Kirk actually rolled the Nightmare pretty violently and tore one of the flanges off of the front axle housing. So we were trying to fix it, and one of the other big teams at the time had broke pretty much all of his rear suspension out of his truck, and they come over and was needing somebody that could weld for him. So Kirk sent me over to help, and I was helping weld, and we were using a generator welder, a stick welder, and it was really giving us fits. And I had that was back when they were using shocks it was pretty early in the shock technology, so we had a shock that had plastic braided hoses that went from the accumulator to the shock, and they weren't really very strong. Well, I was welding right next to the shocks, and one of the hot embers hit that hose. Well, the nitrogen pressure pushed through the hole that ember had created. It was almost like an aerosol can, and it created a flash fire and burnt me pretty good. I ended up spending the rest of the day in the hospital out right here in Lima, and there's some pictures out there of me doing some paint work or unmasking the flames on War Wagon about 3 or 4 weeks later, and you can actually see my arm was still bandaged up. My arm got burnt in the side of my face, but you know, we made it back out here on Sunday, and Kirk struggled the rest of the weekend. We never was able to get Nightmare totally fixed properly. But another little fact about this, about 2 or 3 years later, Kirk rolled Extreme Overkill out here. They used to run the side-by-side races, and one track there was some gravel driveways in, the other side would end up being solid dirt, and that gravel always caused a lot of trouble for the guys here. But this place has a lot of history in the monster truck world. Hey, we're here with Mike Voders, Black Stallion. Everybody knows of Voders Motorsports. Mike, you're one of the guys that's been here for years. Is it exciting to be here?
Yeah, we did this clear back in '91 when Aaron Colburn was here, and then the Jamborees and Penda, and I was here for a lot of years. And then we were off about 6, 7 years just doing other stuff, conflicting schedules. And just awesome to be back. We come back for the first time in I think 6, 7 years last year, and of course it was raining last year like it always did. And all day I've been going, there's something missing. Oh yeah, rain. So
Yeah, we got beautiful weather here this year.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're here with Mike Butters Jr. He's got his new show out, V2 Vids. You guys got to check it out. Tell us about it.
It's basically following my lifestyle, my travels, everything with the truck. Not just the truck, actually, some RC car action, traveling, the trucks, fixing the trucks. Basically anything that has to do with monster trucks is what I'm covering. The things that the fans usually don't get to see, you know, on
kind of
regular
a
TV.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, I
they
show
get to see how much
all the dirty
grief there is.
all the dirty little secrets. I mean everything. So that's
Cool.
basically what I'm covering.
Cool. Well, check it out. We're excited to watch him tonight in freestyle here at Lima.
Absolutely.
You're going to try it again on the far side. It's got it in reverse. Trying to balance the front end. Oh!